Hi, everyone. Welcome to our session I5. I'm the host, Walter. So in this session, we will hear from our brother Jackie Chen's message about how to build effectively a youth leadership team using high tech. So before we begin, let me give some planning. The first thing is so after I have introduction and prayer, leading prayer, then I will give time to brother Jackie Chen, and he will discuss. And I think during the discussion, you can put your question in the chat, and after the discussion, after the message, we can have a Q&A. So okay. So now let me first introduce brother Jackie Chen. Okay, Jackie is a principal IT cloud architect at Oracle Corporation. He has 30 years working experience in the IT industry. So he has a master's degree in executive leadership and also has certification by Professor Dr. Fogger in Stanford. And Jackie was a speaker in the ABC conference from 2017 to 2020, of course, 2021. So currently, he's also a lead coach of Uprising Youth Group of Family Keepers International, which I think will be the topic he will discuss. So basically, he coached 2 high school teams who won the first place in World Artificial Intelligence competition in 2019. Jackie is also passionate on youth leadership, and he founded Leading AI, which help provide AI leadership training for students. So I think that will be very interesting. So now we have around 10 people. So let's have our prayer. So our Heavenly Father, we really appreciate you give us a chance, opportunity to use the internet to be together, to learn your words, to learn your message from Brother Jackie Chen, to know how we in this world can be salt, can be the light, can impact the world in the way that follow your light, follow your guidance. So our Lord, so please guide us in our discussion, our sharing, in our learning. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brother Walter. So can we start? Can I share my PowerPoint?
Yes, please.
Okay. Yeah, let me see. It says that only moderator can share screen. Maybe you can change that a little bit.
Okay. Jackie.
I was able to share before. Right now, maybe you can switch on. Or let me be the co-host.
Jackie, you have 2. You have 1. Okay. Jackie F5, Jackie Chen.
Oh no, the other one is the E5, the F5. Yeah. I have two laptops here, so. Okay, I can do it now. Yeah, good.
Okay.
Okay, can you see my screen?
I see a screen, but I do not see slides.
Yeah.
Yes, now see the. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, everyone. You can hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Everyone, thank you so much for coming. And my name is Jackie. I'm very glad to be here. I'm so
Jackie,
happy to talk. Yeah.
Your window, the window, you on the, you can click the left one. Yeah. No, sorry, right one. It will fold out. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Glad to be here to share my experience in the building a youth leadership team. So Brother Walter just introduced me a little bit. So my background let me show you my background. So my major background is actually a computer architect. So I've been in the industry for some time. So my biggest change is about 7 years ago. I actually attended a part-time study in the leadership program called Executive Leadership. So they changed the whole serving that I'm in the church. So before I was a pure computer architect engineer. But since I learned the leadership, I kind of start to serve the youth, and mainly starting with the Family Keeper International. So you can see that on the upper right-hand side. In the middle is my son, Timothy. So right-hand side is myself. The one next to me is my daughter, Dorothy. And we actually have a team, two teams competing in the World AI Competition for Youth, and they won 2 champions. The left-hand side is my assistant coach, Kevin. I helped him to get an interview for his job after he graduated from the AI degree in the graduate school. So in the middle 5 students, they're all high school kids. So they won 2 champions, and that actually inspired me to do more, to help more people. So what I'm going to talk about today is very simple, right? Number one, just talk about in many situations, we can experience and we see that some youth ministry are not growing, right? Either kids are not coming or they are graduating to the college and they no longer come to the same church or the group. And number two, if we know that happened and know the reason why, and how can we know we can do something different, to help the people to do better, and then build a strategy, the ABC strategy to help the student and help the church. So, and then we have a Q&A. And I want to ask you one question. How do you feel when you see these 2 pictures, right? These are teenagers. You can feel how they feel, right? So maybe you can think about what do they think about, right? What are the feeling of them, right? Maybe you saw them before in your church, in your group, or maybe in your family, right? So I can see that, from me, right, it's boring. One key word, boring, right? That's many kids, not even in church, even at school, at home, they complain about boring, right? Frustration. So why do they have this feeling? And how can we help them when they are teenagers? And how can we build their character in the group and then build for their better future for them? So there are 3 questions I'm actually asking myself as a volunteer coaches for the youth group, and maybe you can think about that. Those are from the teenagers. Even they don't ask you, they have those 3 questions. Do you, as a pastor, as a ministry leader, as a helper, do you know me? Number 2, do you care about me? Right? You ask me to come to the group. Do you know what happened in my school? Do you know what happened to my peer? Do you actually care about how I feel? I know you said you care about me, but do I actually feel that the care from you? I'm not saying that you're not my helper, but do you actually know what I'm thinking right now? The last one is very important as well. Are you with me when I'm struggling, when I cannot handle the stress from school, when I have the friendship broken? Can you actually be with me when I'm struggling, right? Those are the 3 questions that actually, as a adult helper myself, right, I also ask this question to my friends, my coworker, and to God. God, do you know me when I'm serving the teenager, the young generation, when I'm serving the church, when I'm working? Do you know me? And do I feel the care from God? I know, God, you care about me, but do I actually feel it in my heart? Last one is more critical. Do I feel that God is with me when I'm doing my daily job at home, serving the church, do my job, right? Those 3 questions are pretty important. So this is the almost the key sentence I use every single sharing when I talk about the youth ministry that I'm helping. President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, he said one sentence. It's quite important to me. No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care them, right? So let's think about that when we talk about the next experience that I'm sharing. So I want to share one speaker that I learned when I'm in the leadership program. Simon Sinek, he's a very inspiring leadership speaker. So his TED Talk is the top 3 in the whole world. So TED Talk is a very famous talk to inspire people for technology, design, and education. So he had these 3 circles, starting with why. So he said many companies, including like Apple, like Disney, and some other companies like Dell, like HP. So they may be similar. They manufacture computer or a phone or doing the entertainment industry. Many ordinary companies, they care about what they can do for you. Better, they care about how they do better comparing to the competitor. For example, right, Lenovo and Dell, they're all computer manufacturers, like Samsung, right, a phone manufacturer. But they only tell you how they do the good job to make a phone, a computer. But Apple is totally different. They don't tell you what they do and how they do. They emphasize why they are here, why Apple exists. What's the motivation inspire Apple as a corporation to serve the community, serve the user for that? So Simon used that the idea to talk about when we do anything, starting with why is very critical. And we also get very similar concept from Professor Chris Agres. So he's a professor from Yale and also Harvard. He passed away already. He talked about this double loop learning. So for me as a helper, I actually get a lot before I do anything. So normal people, we do this single loop learning, right? We define strategy every year. Even like in the ministry, we define the strategy and technique, what we should do and how we can do better. And then we look at the result. End of the year, we do performance review, right? That's called single loop learning. But what he mentioned is very similar to what Simon mentioned. The double loop learning is that we look at the assumption we define, why we do what we do. So let's look at that for the youth ministry. So can we ask ourselves, ask myself and ask you, right? So why so many youth ministry are not growing, right? Is there something that we need to find out? Why we are still doing that in the church? Is there something we can find out? So to me, I found that there's a very interesting term called the ABC of how a church operates. So A, attendance, right? The people they care is actually very much about the people who come on Sunday service. It's not bad, right? Everybody many people like the believer and non-believer come to the church on Sunday. That's important. But is that the only way we can talk to them? Any other time we can talk to this group or our brothers, friends, and families? Number 2, many of them care about the building. How big is our campus, the building in church? Last one is about the cash. So those are not the best thing, but are those the only thing that we can care about? And is that the reason that prevent us grow more? When the kids are here, remember, when they are teenagers, most likely they won't go to the same church after they go to college. They may go to different states and like East Coast and West Coast. So in the church operation, youth ministry may not be the most important one, or maybe not that emphasized in the church operation. So that's why it's hard to find co-workers and helpers in youth ministry, because they know this group, even they're growing, they're not growing that much, because these students, they're going to leave when they go to high school. After high school, they go to college. They're no longer in the same church. So we are not emphasizing the development of this group and the co-worker. So let's look at the important thing about the motivation. So when we look at the youth group, most churches, as I observe that we look at a student to be a quiet, classroom setting. So we want them to be quiet, study the Bible, which is good. But we normally don't think about how we motivate them inside. So look at these 4 different categories of motivation. The basic motivation is that to teach them something, knowledge. But that's not enough. When they're growing better and better, bigger and bigger, they need more motivation. So level 2 is that we try to incent them to change, right? We'll give them some award like a Awana program, right? Some sticker, even give them a playtime, right? Go to movie time, pizza time. But that's still not enough when they grow bigger. When they go to teenager age, we want them to be intrinsically motivated. And the last one is that we actually want a student to be a better thinker. So that's how I'm thinking the youth group setting. How can I help the church or the Christian organization doing this kind of motivation? That I would like to have a youth group that, at least for my two teenager kids, they're both in high school now. I would like to help them to get into a platform to help them to take off. Just like they're the cadets of West Point Academy, right? They're the future soldiers, officers in the Army, right? We prepare them to well equipped to do a better job. That comes to my concept, another ABC. So we can consider whether you want to use it or you want to tweak a little bit. But that's how I used for the last couple of years. So A is acceptance. Acceptance is that how we can help the group to accept more people. And as I mentioned, right, we care about them, we know them, and we are with them, right? Show the acceptance to the group. And number 2 is very critical in my whole concept is to build up. We want to build up the coaching team, the leadership team, and also the student, the kids leader. Try to be the next leader in the team. And the last one, we need to celebrate with them about accomplishment. So that's the why that drive my serving in the teenagers youth ministry. That what impact that service can bring to me as a helper and co-worker, and to them, to the student, and to the teenagers. So number 2 is what I'm going to talk about, how we are running those activities. So we can do a quick Q&A after this sharing. So be free to ask questions, or you can right now put your question or comment in the chat box. So back in 2019, this is the news from the Family Keeper International. We have 2 teams, actually, they won 2 champions in the WACI, World AI Competition for Youth. So on the left, lower side is the AI professor of Carnegie Mellon University. So we have 2 teams. My son and my daughter are also in one of the teams. So we have 7 teenagers, high school kids. So because I'm also a single father, my wife passed away about 6 years ago. So I decided I can serve the single family team in Family Keeper. So I built a team for most of the single parent family kids. So I help the kids to learn about AI, and then they compete, and they won. And then I decided maybe I can do more, right? Other than the single parent family I was serving, I'm actually building something similar, but for everyone, all the family and all the kids, all the teenagers. And we do two training, one for last year, 2020, and then another one in 2021. So both with my mentor, Elder Lin, and also Pastor Huang. So we have a very successful operation. So in this year, we have 22 students attending the training. After 3 months training, we have 5 students out of 22 get into the top 10% of almost 1,000 competitors. Those are not high school kids. Those are professional, IT professional developer for AI. And many of them are actually master's degree student in computer science, or the least is the college student. So I think we are very few high school kids that are competing in the team. You can see that Nathan, he ran number 4 in almost 1,000 competitors. And then also Yudia, she ran 49. But she tried so hard. At the beginning, she ran only 503rd. And then she tried again and again. She got to 302nd. And then the last one, she tried and accomplished 49th, which is a very good accomplishment as a freshman girl in Hawaii high school. So for all those kids, all the coaches were so proud of them. And Nathan actually last month got into the professional race in the global top 16. The lower left-hand side is Nathan. Those are, I think, most of the people are the already working in IT and very senior developer for AI. So let's talk about the acceptance. So as you can see, right? So I did not know this until a couple years ago. I learned this when I was in the leadership program. So I think that's so true. So when we serve, even as an adult, Christian, right? Sometimes we feel that even when we serve so hard in different ministry, do I really feel the caring from my team, from the people around me? So when they try to teach me something, saying that I'm not doing right, Jackie, you should do better. So, but do they actually show the care that I can feel that? So if I do not feel the care from them, I may not want to listen to any teaching from them. So that's bring to my second point. The acceptance is so important that I learned so much, even from my internal healing. So as you know, right, many people we got a lot of struggle, in our job, in our community, our home. So we just don't want to, step out of our comfort zone. So same as many kids and teenagers, they don't want to share with the parents. They don't want to share with the counselor in school. They don't want to share with the helper, the leader in church, because they may have some hurt inside. So as you can hear maybe before, is that hurt people hurt other people, right? But the good news is that heal people also heal people. So let's look at what the Bible said. Jesus have a very famous teaching when he go to to meet the Samaritan woman. So on the John 4, chapter 4, verse 24, he mentioned that God is spirit, and his worshiper should worship in the spirit and truth. And also when Jesus talked to this woman, and Jesus know everything about this woman, about her background, her history, right? But when Jesus talked in the acceptance and the grace to her, she actually felt more strength and courage inside. So she can talk to many people in the same town, saying that, come see Jesus, because he told me everything I ever did. She had no shame inside. So I think the key thing that I can share to you is when I'm serving, helping the teenagers, is that when I can show the acceptance to them, they feel they're being cared, and they feel the love inside. It's more important than I teach them about the theory, right? How they should do better and how they can do better in their school or at home or in the church. So number one is I learned so much. And actually in Luke chapter 7, 41 to 33, it's mentioned that how people change, why we can love Jesus more is not because how much we do. It's how much Jesus said, ask Simon. He went to Simon's house. He asked Simon, there are two people. Jesus used two examples. One is being forgiven because he or she owned the debt less. The other one owned more. Which one have more love to Jesus? Simon mentioned that. I suppose the one who had the biggest debt forgiven. So which means that the more we feel that we are being forgiven, the more joyful and love we can have inside. And that's the power we can help the student, help our kids, the teenagers, to have the internal motivation to do better. So I think I want to share a quick video that I have for my, I share this to many times. So you can guess who is this little girl. She's only 1 year old. She cannot even walk stable. You know who is this little girl? She's my daughter. You can see her, right? She actually she's in high school now, junior. She played basketball and also in the championship team in the middle school. So you can see that she had no shame no bad feeling when she's walking like that, just like tumbling, right? So that's how a child learn how to walk. So that back to my thinking when I was in the leadership training, right? So how we grow, right? It's the DNA. We have no fear when we are children, when we are younger. But how come when we become like teenagers or even go to college or become adult, there's so many things that prevent us growing, be better, step out of the comfort zone. So people naturally have the curiosity that we want to try and error. No, we don't need anyone teach us. We naturally know it. That's the DNA built in. But the one thing that drags us down is that do we feel the safety or in the sense of security inside? Do we feel that when we try something that we don't know, and then do they judge me? Do I have some criticism? And that's the key question that prevents us growing. So in my survey, I try to solve these two questions and help the student, the kids answer. So do they feel that they have value in the environment, in the community? Do they feel that somebody care about them? So those are two questions that when they answer those two questions, if the answer is yes, right? Do I have value? Yes. Do you care about me? If yes, then they have the courage to do anything they can do. And that's about the number two, about the model, right? A is accepted. Number two is that I actually wrote an article in the Senguo magazine that talk about how we work with the teenagers together. Is that we try to build a platform for them to take off. As I mentioned, we're no longer looking at them as a student in a quiet classroom. We look at them as a future officer, a cadet for the West Point Academy, right? So we try to build a platform as the Bible said, 2 Timothy chapter 2:21 and chapter 3:17 and Titus 3:1, is that we want to prepare them and equip them for future good work. That's how God wants us to do to help these teenagers, this young generation. And that's what I did before. As I mentioned, 2019, that we built the first team. The two teams attend the competition. And then in last year and this year, we have this called Uprising Youth Group in the Family Keeper. And also starting from this year, I have some co-workers in Ohio and Hawaii who build this AI training team. And this is Amazon global race. So they give the chance to everyone in the world. Anyone can enroll. But the condition is that you need to know AI. And then we train the student to do this racing, that we set up the community race, and also they attend the global race. So when they are ready, we actually help them to do a good job, perform, and then go to the professional race. As you see, right? Nathan and other 5 students, they go to the pro race. And then Nathan actually got to the finale, final 16. And it's not so easy, but we actually build a whole team, from scratch. So we have 3 teams. Those are all the co-workers and coaches from Ohio, California, and Hawaii. So we build from scratch. We just say that we want to build a team, other than the single parent family. And then I know some people in Ohio, including the speaker today, Timmy and Dennis. And then they're so good, they ask some parents and they become the coach and helpers. And then I also happen to know Sister Jumin in Hawaii. And then she talked to some helper and Minister Linda in the church. So they build a co-worker team in Hawaii. And then we also have Elder Lin and Pastor Juan to be our spiritual mentor. And this is the why of this coaching team, is that it's interesting, in the English world, in the early 15th century, the English words coming from the Old French called encourager. The original meaning is that to make strong in your heart. So encourage is actually the key word, the why of this leading AI ministry. So we'll try to encourage one another and build each other up. That's the purpose of this whole learning and coaching team that we build with the coaches, co-worker, and student. In many youth ministry that we are trying to get a student go to the church and help them. But actually in our setting, in our whole team, we try to build up our coaches and co-workers too. We not only build the student up, but we also train our own coaches to be a better leader. So in the training, we will not only train the AI, the technical skill, we also train the leadership. And then we help the student to discover their inside, the internal passion, and then so they can serve in the next training to become an assistant coach. So this is the tool we are using. We use the very famous Gallup Strengths Finder. In the world, over 30 million people already test. So they have about 34 different strengths. So anyone can test. For the kids, they're about 14 years old, they can do this test. If they're younger, we prefer them to a single version called a youth version. But this is a standard test. So with the test, we can look at each category. So the test will give you a result that whether this person, this coach or student, are they strong on executing or are they strong on influencing, like outbound communication? Or are they strong on relationship building, right? The very small community teamwork, or are they a good thinker, right? Different people have different strengths. But the good thing is that no matter what strengths you have, there's always a good way to help you use the strengths. So there's a very good tools that we use for our training. And then we build this team profile that each one you can see that we have coaches, John, Joshua, and we also have students like Nathan, Liang, and Timothy Kai, Siraj, Coach Danny. So that we look at this profile, each different color show their strengths. So we use this to help them to do a better job in their learning, their teaching, if they're coach, and how they prepare for their college career. And then we actually do that for all the coaches and students. For 22 students, we divide them into 4 teams. So each team we have at least 2, maybe 3 lead coaches. And then we have 1 assistant coaches who are already in the college as a freshman. So the freshman student are our previous student in our training. So now they are going to college. So we bring them back to be coaches. So that's how we build a coaching team. We're not only sending the student back to their home and don't care about them. When we train them the AI leadership, we actually invite them. They're very happy to be coming back to as a coach later. And in the 3 months training, we actually build a website. So the blue color are all high school kids. So you can see that 3 kids build the whole website, including Dorothy, Yudia, and Jonathan Zhao. And then we have 4 community races for AI race. And you can see that some kids, they're even better than the coaches, right? In Team B, I'm the coach. Student Alan, he's racing faster than me. And we make some training document. You can see that Nathan, he's only a student. He actually leading the local server setup guide for the whole team. And then every single week for 6 or 7 weeks, we give them the chance to share their learning. So when we train them, we not only let them to be the student listening only, we give them chance to practice and then also give them chance to share their learning, to build them up as the next teaching coach. And we actually get 36 strength finder tests done as well in only 3 months. So that's the main purpose of our methodology, is that we not only want to build the student or the teenagers as the student, we want to change their mindset, become from a student to a learner. So student mindset is that I learn because I'm in the classroom, right? So I have to learn. So if I'm not in campus, after I graduate from college, right, most of us, even adult, right, I no longer need to be a student. So done, all the books throw away, right? But that's not a good mindset. So the mindset that we have right now in the modern world, it should be a learner mindset. It's that no longer I'm a student, but I can still learn every day. I become a lifetime learner. Better than that is that after we become a learner, we can learn to be a leader. So that's how we train the whole team. Not only students, but also coaches. So that's how we build up the team. We want the coaches, and not only they know the technology for some coaches, And some coworkers, they are not technology, savvy, right? Some of them are sisters. So we train them to be a good leader. So we'll help them to build up the leadership skill set so they can be the next training leadership coach. So we also give them a mindset called, you are now a coach or coworker, but tomorrow you can think about you be a lifetime learner and then you become a leader. The last one is actually what we are doing in this month. So Elder Lin is very supportive. So he already helped me to help some parents in China to set up the parenthood reading club. So we are now doing that for the US. We have 2 more reading club starting from June. So we have the first one is we read a book and then together. So we'll break up that to 2 teams. Every group have 10 parents. So we call that parenthood reading club. So parenting means that they use the parenting tools to try to a little bit make the kids be quiet, right? Follow all the order. But the parenthood is more lifetime. We try to help the parent to be a better parent in a lifetime, right? Even their kids, after they go to college, they can still be a better parent, a better father, a better mother, so they can keep communicating with the kids even after they left the home. So, and that's how we do it. So those are the students that we trained before in 2019 and 2020. So this year, we actually invite them to be the assistant coach. And Kelvin is the my helper, a main helper and main coach right now. I help him to get into the interview with Amazon. He's now the Amazon AI developer. And then John, Kevin, and Timothy, they're also in my previous class. And Anna, she joined from Hawaii. And then they're already in college right now, in freshman last school year. So, and Dorothy is my daughter. She actually helped to make the website and do the project management. And the end goal is that we want to build them up so that in the future, when they're in college, they have the skill set, the leadership spirit. So this is the first college competition in the whole world. That the Indie Autonomous Challenge is the first in the whole world that they give $1 million for the university team win the self-driving car race. So they use the self-driving car technology in a real race car. So the speed is 200 miles per hour. That's amazing. So they're going to race in the track. So 30 teams in the world will be competing. So I hope that in some of the students, when they go to college, in the future, they can join this team to do the next race. And that's how we do it. The key thing we do is that we want to use this new concept called the top-down training, not the bottom-up training. Bottom-up means that it's a regular training method. It's nothing wrong, right? It's very regular, right? Everybody in the high school, they learn the calculus, right? Linear algebra, right? Those are the fundamental of the college, fundamental for prepare for college, maybe in AP class. And then if you go to computer science in college, they need to do the fundamental and then learn computer operating system, computer vision. And then another thing after that is maybe they go to the master degree, right? They learn machine learning or the Google TensorFlow or Python. Look at that. Before they go to the deep racer AI race, they need to have at least 12 years study. So you know that that's why in our competition, the Amazon competition, many of those adults, they've been through all those long training, which is okay. But right now we're doing this top-down teaching. We teach them deep racer first, teach them how to race. And then we divide those modules into different components. So after the training, they can drill down to every single component to learn by themselves or go back to their school. The good thing is that they have built this interest on AI and self-driving car. And then you can see our video later is that they build the interest and internal motivation so they can go learn by themselves. And we provide further advanced training for them. So this is the better way than the bottom up. Bottom up is that students feel boring, what time I can do the job, something I can inspire myself and then feel better. Am I still learning fundamental? Fundamental is good. But right now, because so many kids, they can learn online. So the teaching in school, sometimes it's not catching up their desire. They can learn from YouTube, from the Coursera, right? Even MIT, Stanford training, they have an official class online. Even teenagers, they can learn that. So right now we are doing this top-down teaching. Top-down teaching is that we give them the idea, imagination, and then they do the research, the try and error. That's why every week we have the student presenting their solution. In our 3 months training, they actually have the for team. We have about 6 presentations to present their research on AI. You know, at their age, they're so young in high school, they can already do this research in a very deep topics. So that's our learning path. So the number one is the Deep Racer. We cooperate with the church. So our current model is that we take the kids into the training. So like in Hawaii, we have the church support, right? The church have their youth ministry. They have their Linda minister, and also Sister Jumin is the local coordinator, and they provide 2 coaches, Coach Chen Wei and Coach Yu Jian. So they are the technical support because they have some technical background, but they're not AI engineer. They only know engineering. And then we work with the church team. And then if student they cannot, the tuition is very. The last 2 training we don't get tuition. All the coaches are volunteer. But in the coming years, training, we may have get a little bit tuition, but we can give scholarship to those students. Because we want to pay our student coaches. We want to give them a reward, saying that if they help to teach the younger kids, they can also, get honored to be earning income to be a teacher or coach in a program. So in the future, we may work with the church. So when the student pay tuition, we can give it back to the church as a scholarship. But right now, we design 5 different fundamental classes. So Deep Racer is the number one. So in this summer, we're going to teach the advanced machine learning. Those are actually advanced class in college and a master degree. So we have Kevin, who's an engineer in Amazon. So we're actually developing the class material for high school kids. We bring them down to the knowledge that they can understand to try to help them to be better, prepared for their college in the future. And in summary, that's how we did, right? So we build a team, not only because we love them when they're here in church. We build a team because we want them to strive in the future. And also for all the coaches. That's how we build it. So we build a team based on the encouragement. So you can see that in 2019, there are 2 coaches. On the right-hand side is Coach Sandy. I also help her. She graduated from USC in AI and in a master degree. So I got her, help her to get interviewed to Amazon. She's also at Amazon right now. Left-hand side is Coach Kevin. So he's also my main coach right now. He's helping on the training for the advanced machine learning. The middle 3 are the John, Kevin, and Perry. So John and Kevin already in college. Perry is still in high school. So in year 2020, John and Kevin actually become my coach the younger kids for WACI 2020. So hopefully this year, then more kids from last year's training will become coach. So we build a team, just like rolling, upgrade, right? We build a team who can be the next coach. So bring in more new blood to the coaching team. So they're not leaving us, right? So many youth ministry, that students, they just go to the college and gone. But right now, because of technology, we can have them coming, joining remotely. Like John, he's staying in San Diego. He joined remotely the last couple months to help coaching the younger high school kids. So as Harvard professor John Carter said, there are 8 steps that you can build a change process. Number 1, we need to create a climate for change, right? So as I mentioned, in many settings in church, many pastors, they don't understand why kids are not staying in church. We may want to give them the sharing, right, about, how to inspire the kids to learn more from what they can do in the church. Not when they go to college and saying they're gone, right? They're not gone. Even they're not staying in the same church, they can still help the church ministry, right, remotely, or becoming the next helper or next assistant coach. And then we need to create a climate of change. And then we also need to build the guiding team, right? Number one, we need to bring the urgency of the change. Why we should do a little bit different on the youth ministry. And then when we build a coaching team, the guiding team, and then we need to set the right vision, right? The vision is very important. Our vision is that we want to have the team that encourage each other and build each other up. That's our vision. And then we need to communicate to the people, the co-worker, and then empower the team to work together. As I said, right, we have 22 coaches, co-workers. Those are all the good resources we can have. So in the summer, we're going to have this parent co-worker reading club. So assuming that after this reading club, there are many other parents will be coming to the helping team. And then also the number step 6 is that we need to build a short-term win, right? We cannot say that all the kids that are coming here, they still feel boring. They don't feel being honored, being excited inside. We want to build some small win, key milestones. And the last one is that we want to build that as a culture, make it stick, become the culture of the youth training ministry. That's how we do. We use the mentorship and the discipleship, and also we try to empower the leader, the student to be the next leader. Just like Nathan. So in the summer, I'm also now helping him to get internship in the city of LA, and then try to build him up as the next leader for the next class. So in summary, that the ABC, the new ABC, acceptance, build up, and celebrate, is the way that how we are trying to do in the new generation. Because right now they can learn so many things online. The only thing we can do is to help to build them up so they have Christ insight. So as we said, right, in the 2 Timothy, we just use the Bible teaching. 2 Timothy 2:2, right? We want to entrust to the reliable people who will also be qualified to teach others. So we look at our own coaches and our students to be the next generation leader so they can teach the same thing in Christ to other people and bring them to the church. And that's how we look at Colossians 1:28. We're here not because we want them to be our follower. We want them and us to be the same Jesus follower. So whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in Christ Jesus. So all the training, all the teaching here is not only for our own benefit. It's for God's kingdom. Is that we try to bring up the coaching team, bring up the parents group, bring up the teenagers team, so everyone can serve in a better way. They have more knowledge about the cutting edge technology, AI, machine learning, or maybe later we can do a coaching team with leadership, right? So we don't have to do technology. I was talking to our helper in Ohio that some kids like Kevin, he like racing car in a real racing track. He's an actual leader in the kids team. So I said we can do a real racing training team with the leadership, right? And some kids like cooking, right? We can do a cooking class with leadership. All the purpose is to bring them in Christ, but need to inspire them and then encourage them inside. That's what we did for the last couple of years. Okay, I'm going to share a quick video and then we can go to the Q&A. This is what the Good TV, they do a quick interview to Nathan and our coaches, Coach Dennis and myself.
青少年整天关在房间里打电动，是否让你不知所措？由 Leading AI 所培训的一名高中学生 Nathan 亮，在 Amazon Deep Racer 亚马逊无人驾驶赛车3月份的竞赛里，荣获全球排名第4的殊荣。这是一个全球性的比赛活动，另有4名学员进入前10%。这群高中生能够在近千人高手如云，且多是 IT 领域及硕博士生里脱颖而出，令人好奇他们到底接受了怎么样的培训课程。
So I made a few attempts and eventually my model improved to the point where I got top 10%. I kept on trying and eventually I got top 1%. But it wasn't until I joined Leading AI before I finally got hands-on experience with actual coding. This training definitely influenced my passion. I did think about taking computer science as my major in college, but this has definitely secured that.
Leading AI 是由多位义务教练和助理教练所组成。总教练陈德坚在科技公司担任电脑云端设计师多年，也是一位在教会中热心服侍的弟兄。今年首次与教会合作，跨越地域限制，在网络上训练一群来自夏威夷、加州、俄亥俄州等地的年轻学生，参加人工智能赛车。训练结束后，也举办盛大的线上结业及颁奖典礼。
因为我本身是一个基督徒，我觉得这是我们一个责无旁贷的一个使命，我们要把上帝的福音传给世界，而且要使用上帝的福音来造就下一代。So use AI for good, and also, ultimately, 最终的目标是 use AI for God.
好像 Nathan 他不是 religious， 我们当中不是每一个都是基督徒，这非常 outreach， 我们不单是 serve 我们教会的 teenagers， 我们可 outreach 到其他的那个 teenager， 因为他们听到那个 church， 他们有可能没有兴趣，但他们听到这个 AI， 听到 deep razor， 他们有可能兴趣，他们同我们有联系的时候，这个 gospel spreading 就比较容易多了。
教会需要针对青少年的牧养有新的策略与平台，而陈弟兄正在做的就是一种连结基督信仰价值与生涯规划的培训平台，让这群青年既有 AI 的知识，又有领导力的培养，从团队合作中培养荣誉感，并从中产生创意、规划、解决问题的能力，他们便能有自信，找到人生目标，成为真实正直的领袖。
感谢您收看北美好消息新闻快报。更多精。
Yeah, that's all my sharing. So these are some books I read before, and those are very good books. Number one is the Life Strength Finder from Gallup. So you can buy that from Amazon. They also give you a free test code. When you buy the book, they give you a free test. You can test it yourself. Number two is also a good book called Stand Out. It's very complementary to the Strength Finder. It's about your career. How do you assess your skill set to your career? Very good for students. And Professor John Carter's book is very important. How you lead the change in your area. That you want to lead the change, how you prepare yourself, prepare the culture and the team, and stick to the change. And the one for the making of leader is very good for me as a helper and leader. That how we become mature, inside. We have to be mature inside first, even as a parent. A parent, being a mature parent is much better to coach and help your children to grow up. Last one is from Professor Guo, Cultivating Spiritual Leaders and Co-workers. That's also very important from the AFC, Ambassador organization. So, and and also, as you know, I'm a habit coach, right? So my key theme is that I want to do help people do the tiny, enjoyable action, right? The T. So every year in ABC, I'm using this word, Coach T, right? Just like you're drinking a tea, using the tea bag on the tea. So you can go to my website that we do this training, the leadingai.org, or send me email djen.chen@gmail.com. Okay. I think, Brother Walter, we can take any question that they may have. Let me stop sharing.
Yeah, very excellent lecture, actually. I think for me, I really learn with this good example about how to empower people, how to really learn by doing, learn together on a life learning curve. And you not only give an example, you also talk about methodology. Even you do not do AI, you can do cooking or other thing. You can think about in this way to really how to, build a relationship with the youngers and grow together, and how to, work together to impact the world. So now I'd like to get questions. So let me ask one question. So I think you have a very good relationship with them during the project. So how do you organize a project with them? It's like like a summer camp? That's the first question. Second question, how do you incorporate, our faith into those learning process?
Oh, thank you, Brother Walter. Yeah, I do see a question in the chat. Let me answer your question first. How do I organize? I did 2 AI leadership training. One is last year from September to December, also with Elder Lin. So we do it remotely with China. So we just set up all the trainings about 10 weeks. So the second one is this year in January to March. So 10 weeks. Every week we have every Sunday afternoon, because we have 3 different time zones, right? Hawaii, California, and Ohio. So we do it at 4:30 California time. It's 7:30 in Eastern time in Ohio, and 1:30 in Hawaii time. So 2 hours per week. So 10 weeks, about 20 hours total training. So lecture time and discussion time. But after the training, the students need to do their own exercise and tuning. But we teach them how to do it. So in class, we have about 1 hour teaching, and then half an hour discussion, and then another 20 to 30 minutes student sharing. So look at 2 hours is 1 hour lecture. That's why we do a lot of hands-on. 30 minutes discussion and 30 minutes sharing from the last class. And how do we set up the schedule? We can do it in the last year. The last 2 training are all in school year, right? So students do it in some Sunday, but summer we only do the advanced class, so we can choose flexible. But because we are now still developing more student helper, we will try to make it more the bigger coaching team. So in September we can do more, helping more churches and more people to join.
Yeah. Second question is how do you integrate faith in the interaction or learning?
That's a good question. In faith, we integrated in the leadership training. So at the beginning, you can see that even in the student, one of them is from India. He did not even speak Chinese. So some of the kids, most of the kids from are Chinese kids. But the student, Siraj, he's one of our students' friends, good friends. So I talked to Siraj. Do you believe in Christ? He said no. But I said, do you against if I'm teaching using the Christian leadership? He said, no, I'm fine. And then I said that I'll make sure to mention that when I do interview, all the kids come here, they know that we are Christian leadership training. So when we're training the leadership, we always bring Christ first. But we talk about this servant leadership, how to help each other. We always quote the Bible. And we actually share our faith, as Coach Dennis mentioned, that we're not afraid to say we're Christian. We're actually be proud to be a Christian. But we're also teaching the leadership concept and foundation based on our faith. So all the students, they have no problem, and they actually feel better about this leadership training. They're not being like hard sell about what they should be doing. They're actually learning from the coaches about how they live their life. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah. So now I think, Brother Chen, you can address a question in the chat.
Yeah. I see a question that how do I select a team member if there are many kids interested? Yeah, good question. We do have an interview, right? So let me tell you the process. Normally, just like the one we work with Hawaii. So when we do it, we first do it with Ohio and California, and then Sister Jumin approached me. She said we also want to join, and then we do the flyer design with Hawaii helper, and then we also give them a form of enrollment form, so they can send to their parent and student. So when they have the enrollment form, we have the requirement that, for example, they need to share, did the kids attend a normal school like mathematics class? If they have no mathematics background, it's so hard. But we only need some math background, right? Algebra, that's enough. We don't need them to learn calculus. They're all fundamental math. And then we do need to do interview, make sure that it's the kids himself or herself want to join the training, not the parent pushing them. So we know that they have natural inside, intrinsic, desire to learn the AI and leadership. So we want to make sure that they're here for a reason. We don't want to waste their time. And then second thing is that, and also for coaches, we also train the coach. For example, in Hawaii, Coach Yu Jian and Coach Chen Wei, they don't know anything about computer. They are only civil engineer and other engineers but they would help them to build a skill set, and then they can install the AI racing car. And second question is that how do you plan to expand more places? Yeah, we do want to cooperate with the church and the youth ministry. If you're interested, be free to send me email. You can send me email on dgen.chen@gmail.com, and I'll type it here. Or you can contact me, go to the website and send me any question that you may have. Yeah. We can talk more here. My dgen.chen@gmail.com. Yeah. And the website is leadingai.org.
Good.
Yeah, thank you for all your questions.
Yeah. Does anyone still have a question? So if you have a question, I would suggest just open, this is a very excellent platform. I will not say we should constrain this as only about a computer or AI. This is a way to use project, use the general framework to empower, encourage, interact with the younger ones. I'm very impressed. Actually, I do have some idea, maybe to expand this kind of way to interact or help youngers. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Brother Walter. Yeah. Also, we have Elder Lin and also Pastor Huang. We actually have the spiritual mentor to guide us in this program. So make sure that we are following the right way. So when we work with the church team, we also have the support from the church. So make sure that they understand we are not doing a regular training. We want to have this chance to bring the kids to the church. And even after they graduate from high school, they can still come back to serve the church. So that opened a big door for the church to expand the ministry, not only for the youth, but also for the whole overall outreaching.
Right. Yeah, especially, in recent year, I feel big picture from God is you should work in God. W-A-L-K, not, standing in God, not have a seat with God. By work, you have to do something, more like action. So that's how at least I grew up, learn by doing. It is a lifelong theme. I really appreciate, your talk. So really motivated me. If there's no question, I will suggest, Brother, maybe you can have a prayer to end this. Unless someone have a question.
The website, I should type a correct website. It's leadingai.org. Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Brother Jackie. I do have another question about the.
Sure.
Is this only for the for the students like in the high school, or like what about middle school students?
Yeah. Right now, the Amazon racing is for the high school. But as
it's like ninth grade, like from ninth grade, or they have like 10th grade, or just high in general.
We normally start from ninth grade, but in California we have one student, Henry. He's only 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
And we accept him after the interview. And I do have the middle school team, which is for the WACI. Remember the World Artificial Intelligence for Youth? That's not the Amazon level. Amazon is very high level. They are all adult, competitors. So the middle school kids cannot handle that. It's too much. But we do have the WACI competition that I'm doing that with the Family Keeper. That's for the middle school level. If you're interested, be free to send me email. So I'll be happy to talk to you, Brother Zhang, about the middle school program.
Yeah. I know. Timmy and the tennis, so they they came to our church for some training as well, so we know that couple, so I can even talk to them when they come over here.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Good to see you. Yeah, middle school they have another competition. It's called the WACI. That's better level for the middle school kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see a question from Sister John. Associate fee, let me tell you this. We have, because in this training, we need to procure the racing car, right? So those is, and also the check. So we have some material fee that associate. So, and also, as I mentioned, starting from September, we need to, we are planning, we want to reward the student that helping in the program. We're trying to use some tuition. So we have two parts in the fee. Yeah, there's a fee associated. One part is mainly for purchasing the equipment, the racing car, the check, and then the other tuition is to pay the coaches and student coaches. Yeah, but we will give the scholarship to the student who have financial challenges, and also it will work with the church. We can define a way that we can give this scholarship to the church and give it to the student. Yeah. But be free to send me email if you want to have more discussion.
Yeah. By the way, so everyone can speak now. In case you don't know, I mute everyone. Feel free to ask questions. Yeah. Okay. There's another question. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sister Susan. Yeah. We're now discussing in the September class. So in the January to March, we get 150 for 10 weeks training. So roughly you can get the idea. So very similar in September. Yeah. For each student for 10 weeks training. So they have the racing car, they have the track, the team race. We do 4 races in the training, and also we do the global race. Yeah.
Actually, I have another application I think quite interesting, like to share with Brother Chen. So we also can have AI in other applications like a language, let's say translation. Many senior persons, they cannot speak English, and they may not understand when they order manual or talk with people. But currently we have a phone, but the phone needs a very good internet. So it's like a cloud computing. You have to send a server to Google Assistant or Apple, Siri, whatever. So what do you think about kind of edge computing that use an offline device to run a AI translator?
Yeah, sure. We have a lot of things we can do, as I mentioned, right? AI is just one topic that we can get the kids' attention because they play games so much, right? Racing is also another game, right? But as you mentioned, maybe we can expand that to how to serve the community, like the senior people don't understand English or other language well. Or even like we have some idea like AI for investment. Help them to save money for the future, right? Do some financial planning. Or AI for food industry, right? Restaurant. So the kids are very creative. When we have a discussion, they all like to do more. So I think even for myself, I learned so much from the discussion. So I think, as I mentioned, we're not saying that going to church is not important. It's absolutely important. But at the same time, we can give them some more choices when they are not together physically in the church. They can still do it with other team members, like in different state, in different country. Yeah.
Good.
That expand the kids their vision. They can know why they're here and know the importance of them, right? They can contribute more to the other people. So yeah, I think that actually inspire them to do better.
Yeah, especially in current age, the kids are always just like consumer, a user. Even their privacy is become a product. So they are attracted and addicted by smartphone, by technology. So this is another way to think about technology. If you do not understand it, do not use it, you will under it. Technology can use you to run profit. But I think your methodology is a very good way to let the younger ones have a chance to learn out of the box, to learn what is in their hand, so they can use it. Another, they can manipulate, they can control the device, not device control them. That is something I worry. To see many children, just use a phone as a camera at an entertaining machine. It's like both a game machine and a camera machine, entertaining machine. I think this is a very good way. I think we can keep in touch, and I do have some small project, tiny project like you say, and we can think about a way to let more people get engagement.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, glad to talk to you and more. I have a question here. If the youth in your church are interested in the training program, the best way to enroll is to email. Yeah, that's right. email me. I have the email dgen.chen@gmail.com. So email me, and then we can have a conversation either by phone or by email. So I'll be happy to talk to you, and then I think this is good. The reason I built this program is because I'm imagining I'm a high school student, right? What can I get, if I'm high school right now? I'm just thinking when I was a kid, nobody think about me. They only think about them, right? They want me to go to their program, to do their thing. But how about me? What can I learn and be a better student? So right now I have 2 kids in high school. I say, oh, maybe I talk to them. Do they need this? They say, oh yeah, I want that. So I just try to think from a mindset of a student, and also as a coach, right? We want to grow as a better people, better person in our career. So doing those, Gallup, survey is very good. Even inspire me to be learning better in different area. So that's how we build the coaches and co-workers. Yeah. And also we do the parent reading club. So that can help the student, coaches, and the parent to go to the same direction. That's how the kids, they feel that, their parents are learning as them, right? So they can communicate better, they have the same language, they talk to each other more, and they actually understand each other more. All right, so any more questions? Thank you for all the questions. They're all those very good questions. I appreciate your time, and you're here and then actually encourage me. Yeah. Okay. So, Brother Walter, I think no more question. I can pray and we'll finish this sharing.
Okay. Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Let's pray. Dear God, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to talk to each other and share with each other about our desire to help this generation. Bless us, bless our students and children and our church, and bless our ministry. So give us the wisdom and the courage, insight to serve more and use the way that you show us in the Bible to understand each other, know each other, care about each other, and be with each other. So when we go out, we are not only by ourselves. We know there are many teams, many people behind us, behind our next generation, our teenagers. So whenever they go, when they go to college, when they go to their work, they always remember when they're young, somebody invests on them because God's love. So they know that they're not alone. They know people care about them. They know their value. They know that they have the impact to this world. Please give us the wisdom and the strength, insight to let us to be a better helper, better parents, and better worker in our job. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much.